Hello everyone! Another video so soon! Well, it's time for part 2 of my Blood Bowl 2 tier list. Well, it's not just mine, I have a special guest still here with me. Who is this special guest? Introduce yourself.
It's De La Cuevo. No, it's me, Sundanis. Hello.
Yes, we have Sindenis back with us again for part 2. Uh, high quality, detailed explanations on the teams. So we had to stretch it out. Sorry, but you're getting your bang for your buck. You're learning the Blood Bowl experience. And you know how you learn the Blood Bowl experience? Well,
You get fucked up by dwarves.
yeah, there's no better way to learn the Blood Bowl experience than to go and talk about the dwarves, baby.
You get fucked up by dwarves.
Now, who are
By
the
some
dwarves?
asshole who's played 1,000 hours.
So who are the dwarves? Well,
You're
dwarves.
racist.
The dwarves are the worst. Dwarf players are the worst scum that have graced the human race. But dwarves, just to go down the roster and explain why they are so hated by us and by the larger community. Essentially, you don't have the strength bonus. You don't have the movement bonus. Hell, you don't even have agility. What do you have? You have opening block, and you have a high armor value with thick skull on almost all your players. And now that doesn't seem too bad, right? It's just some stupid skills. Skills can't hurt me. I'm in my cage, but oh my god, it sucks. So anyway, to explain the positionals and the linemen. So for your linemen, got the long beards. They're 70k linemen, and with their normal dwarf stats, they're the same as the Chaos Dwarves. They have 4 movement, 3 strength, 2 agility, and 9 armor value. They have their normal upgrades into general and strength, which is crazy, and then they have the skills block, thick skull, and tackle. Tackle single-handedly invalidates some of the teams on this list, so tackle, do
Like
not doubt
Amazon.
tackle. Like Amazons, so do not
And
doubt tackle.
Bretonian.
So do not doubt the power of tackle. Then you have the runners. They have an 80k cost, slightly higher, but you get lower AV, but 6 movement. So they're your main ball carriers, which is why they have sure hands, because you don't want the other dwarfs picking up the ball. You need sure hands on one of your guys. And it's nice that they gave them off the bat, because if we didn't hate dwarves enough, give them sure hands. They can actually pick up the ball better than you too.
Yeah, you pick up like a runner per team, yeah.
Yeah. Then they have access in the general and passing, not strength. So they're like the least annoying dwarf.
That's why I only pick up one.
Only one is needed. Then you have
Only one.
Then you have Blitzer, which is essentially long beard, but they have extra agility and movement, without tackle. But it's only 10k more cost, so you would want.
They're gonna get it anyway.
Yeah, they're gonna get it later. You have Troll Slayers, which is actually the most unique and interesting positional on dwarves. You have higher movement, 3 strength, 2 agility with 8 armor value. But their skills are what makes them super interesting. They have block, thick skull, dauntless, and frenzy. So essentially, they can punch your big guys twice. That is disgusting. They can punch your big guys twice with 2 dice with block. So they are a Troll Slayer. That is what they do. They'll slay your big guy. There's nothing you can do about it. And then they have Death Roller, which some people play Death Roller. Honestly, it's just TV inflate. You don't need Death Roller. Essentially what Death Roller is, it's 4 movement, 7 strength, 1 agility, and 10 armor value. And they have multi-block, they have so many things, they have break tackle, so many skills I'm not even going into, where they can just kill you. But if you don't play your bribes right, they're just in for one turn, for one drive. So kind of for 160k, in my opinion, cost. That raises your TV value super high. You're better with just the base dwarves.
So you need to talk about this piece a little more because it's actually very interesting. The secret weapon thing makes it so that the first time any touchdown happens or anything that makes the game go like, all right, new possession, the Death Roller is gone.
Yeah.
Which is why he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 skills, including nega traits.
Yep. Yeah.
Sorry, 8 skills, including nega traits.
Just out of curiosity, would you run the
stats.
Death Roller if you play dwarves? Obviously, you wouldn't play
So
dwarves.
there are camps of people that run the Death Roller, and there are camps of people that do not. It doesn't matter. They're both equally valid, and the team is a piece of shit with it and without it. The only thing I want to mention in terms of the Death Roller, past like it's really good, but you don't have to get it, and it does change the way you play dwarves, right? is that it has no hands. It cannot catch the ball or pick up the ball or hold the ball in under any circumstances. Interestingly enough, about no hands, the image for no hands, if you've never seen it, is a human player, like all the other skills. Is a human player attempting to grab a bar of soap with no hands. He just has nubs, and the bar of soap is flying out of his hands. It's dumb. I wanted to talk about it. It's funny.
No, this something that like I miss from Blood Bowl 3 is that Blood Bowls 2, like the actual artwork for the skills is actually super cool. Like,
yeah, it's actually really interesting.
Yeah, they're all really cool. Like you know, ones that stand out as like guard or stuff, or like you know break tackle. Those ones are like awesome.
Dirty player is like some dude sliding under the shins of another player. Like,
yeah, no, those are really cool. But anyway, going into my own personal list, dwarves are probably RS. They're probably above Chaos Dwarves. They're a top, what I don't know, like 5 team. They're disgusting. And Blood Bowl 3, they're worse because there's way less teams that have natural skills that can counter them. So yeah,
and they're more murdery.
Yeah, they essentially at low TV, their first game, they will essentially have a 50% chance to get a successful block on you, and there's also a good chance that your entire team is just dead. So yeah, dwarves are real. What would you rank the dwarves?
Fucking SS.
SS?
I think this is a top 3 team.
Yeah, no.
This is like the most consistent team in the game. If you're terrible at the game, dwarves are consistent. If you're great at the game, dwarves are consistent. If you're learning the game, they're really easy to learn. If you're looking to get better at the game, they're a really tight-knit team that allows you to get better in those great circumstances. So I just SS at every level of the game and any TV, they're just broken.
Yeah, that's fine by me. Yeah, don't want to talk about dwarves anymore. The next team is the Elven. Elven Union. The Elven Union is essentially a play on the elves, where you have cheaper linemen but interesting positionals with interesting values. So you have the linemen. You get 16 of them as normal. They have the normal elf traits, which is actually more normal than the dark elves, where they have the 4 agility and the normal movement, but they have a lower armor value. But with this, they still have the general and agility axis, and they cost cheaper. So, you know, cheap elf lineman doesn't hurt no one. Yeah, it actually helps with TV value creep, which this team desperately needs, because their later positionals, man, they creep up real high. The next ones is the thrower, which works actually fairly well with this team. You get the skill pass, and you get the normal upgrades of pass, and it's just the same attributes as lineman, but actually, I think the passer works really well, especially with this next positional, which is the catcher. Now, don't let the catch and nerves of steel fool you. This is a war dancer without the skills.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
It's not true. Like, okay, no, fuck off. That's just not true. I've played so much of this team. No, I can't let you say that. That's fucked up.
No, I'm saying that's a good thing.
No, even if this is the second best unit in the game, right? It's not. Even if it is, it's still not a war dancer. The war dancer's fucked.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm
the
saying
war dancer cracked for 30 years.
No,
yeah.
I was just saying they have the same stat line, which is good.
Oh, fucking mother. That's a standard elf stat line.
8-3-4-7? No, it's not.
Yes,
that's the best elf line they have.
Yeah, it's +1 move, dog. Like,
it's +1 move, but that's the best the elves can get.
I'm dead.
Well, starting, it's the best the elves can get.
I'm gonna riot. Continue on.
Yeah, he has a lot of hours on Elven Union, so he's going to bat for his team.
No, I'm saying they're much worse.
Oh yeah, they're much worse, but they have the same stats as a war dancer, which makes
the stats are what make the war dancer crazy. It's the skills. Like, all right, go ahead. Fuck it. We'll talk about the war dancer. He's coming, chat. He's coming.
All right. Anyway, I think the catchers are really good.
Yeah,
they work well. Not having the strength minus is actually less useful than you would think, but it's just a nice thing to have.
It's just blocking anyway. Like.
Yeah. That's why it's less useful than you think, right? Because why are you blocking with your catchers? The next piece is the Blitzer, which honestly is a very interesting piece because they have the same stats as the Dark Elf Blitzers, but they have Sidestep, which is a very interesting starting skill to have. It
It's
means,
great. Great
yeah,
skill.
it means they can, after a block is made on them, they can move to any of the open tiles that are in the vicinity, which is a
Motherfucker's moving at 360.
yeah. I mean, if you don't bring them down, they can get to places where you don't want them to be, essentially.
And it's never, yeah, it's like, it's not they can get to where you don't want them to be. They're gonna get to where that you don't want them to be.
Yeah.
And after their first level up, they get Blodge.
Yep.
So it's Blodge Sidestep, and so you can never hit them ever unless you.
Yeah, just like other Blodge pieces, essentially, what is explained in the first video. Once you have Blodge, a block on you only has a 1 in 6 chance on their die to bring you down, which they can only bring you down with a POW. So Blodge is super significant.
Not counting for tackle or wrestle.
Well, yeah, that's
shit on them, but
yeah, which goes on the higher TV values, but yeah.
Yeah. So this team is deceptively sturdy. Because even though you have multiple AV7 pieces, your thrower's pretty much always out of the mix, your catcher's pretty much always out of the mix, and your blitzer's AV8. So this is one of the more sturdy elf teams, because you're circling your linemen down the drain forever. You'll have journeyman linemen, all of them, forever. But your thrower and catcher and like your two blitzers like are pretty sturdy with Blodge Sidestep as their first level up. Like this is a much more sturdy elf team than it sounds.
Yeah.
It just also looks like you're getting injured all the time because you're gonna have 5 dead linemen every game. Like,
yeah, well, yeah, this team can get super strong, and they have cheap rerolls, so it's a good team. I would put them low S. They're better than Dark Elves, but they're not the best elf team.
I would say they're A, like the best team in A, but like it's the same difference. Low S, high A, same difference.
That's fair. They're better than Dark Elves, but they're like mid-tier elf.
Yeah, they're like so to put it this way, the two bad elf teams are both above the B line. Like, if B is like decidedly average, they're decidedly above that, which is just great.
Yeah, it tells you all you need to know about elves.
Yeah.
And they don't even have the strongest positionals. Like, and none of their teams have like. Well, obviously there's the one team that has the crazy positionals, but most of their positionals.
Honestly, have some good positionals, I think.
Well, it's like they're
good.
strong because of the base linemen being so strong, and they have those stats.
True.
Like, they're not like significantly better. Like say Kislev. I love Kislev so much because their blitzers are so much more unique and better than their linemen. Which we'll get into. That's a hint for later stuff. But anyway, Elven Union, low S tier. We'll move on to Goblins. We'll be quick, especially since there's a lot to explain for Goblins, which I don't have the time for. So essentially, what Goblins have is they have a gimmick where, well, they also have low bribes, which is ka-ching, ka-ching. But also, their gimmick is that they have secret weapons, which a lot of them means that those players will not last more than one turn, and a lot of these secret weapons are actually trash. Bombardier is not a good special weapon.
How dare you?
It's not. It doesn't work. Fanatic.
It's great.
Looney is actually a good secret weapon. And he's same cost as a goblin, so pick up the Looney. You'll have fun. The Pogoer is like it's whatever, and the Fanatic is also like sure, yeah. They have a lot of secret weapons that aren't cool. But looking at the normal.
Did you just say on the Fanatic, bro?
Yeah, I said on the Fanatic.
That's the greatest unit.
All right, yeah. Their normal.
But the Pogoer and the Fanatic are the two best units on that team.
Look, they are, but the Looney's like the only secret weapon I think is like actually worth it, especially for the cost.
No, the Fanatic is genuinely great, dog. 70k ball and 70k strength 7. Got it. Okay, so not to like slow this down or anything, but the goblins are a bad team. Just full stop, bad team. They are so fun because the Fanatic, the Loony, the Pogoer, the Bombardier, they're all crazy fun units. And not for nothing, but picking up some goblins with trolls and just fucking throwing them is great.
Oh yeah,
it's great.
It's enjoyable.
It sets up some really interesting turn one like touchdowns. Like
All right.
they're a very fun team.
Well, here comes the massive bait. Are you with you defending the goblins? Are you ready to put them in D tier and not F tier?
Yeah, I'll put them. Yeah, you baited me. So I'll put them.
Let's go.
They're significantly better than the halflings, but they're not good.
We have one chat. The goblins are D tier. The plan is successful. Yeah. Anyway, goblins. Just to explain the other non-secret weapon positionals real quick. Goblins, you have right stuff, which means they can be thrown, which is awesome. Dodge and stunty. They have 6 movement, 2 strength, 3 agility, and 7 armor value, with only agility as their normal. They do not. They can only get general access through their doubles. But they're a 40k unit, and they're fun as hell to use. Trolls are also fun paired with the goblins. Trolls by themselves have the worst nega trait in the game, which is really stupid. Which essentially means if no one is standing next to them, they will have to roll a 4 or higher on their dice, be able to move. Which means you always need to stick a goblin. You just always have to have a goblin next to them.
Yeah.
But paired with the goblins and the trolls with the secret weapons, this team is just uber fun, and you get bribes. So you get the all the fouls you want to roll. You can have like 16 goblins on the roster and foul them. You'll still have a lower TV value than whoever you faced. Goblins are really fun. The next team, and thank God they're in D tier. Hallelujah. The next team is the Halflings.
F. Just fucking throw them in jail. Throw them in H for halfling.
Yeah, they're F.
Put 2 tiers between goblins and halflings, bro, please.
So yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on the Halflings because they are justifiably an F tier team. Essentially, they're made up of 2 players. The one is the Halfling, which is one of the worst, if not the worst, positional in the game. I know Nobblers exist, but Halflings, this is an entire team of Halflings, so it becomes really daunting.
Are decidedly better than halflings.
Oh yeah, there you go. So they're 30k cost, they have only 5 movement, they have 2 strength, 3 agility, and 6 armor value. So essentially, very terrible stats. They only get access to agility, and their skills are dodge, right stuff, and stunty. And they have access to 2 treatment.
Don't trip. Stunty dodge means they can get out of anywhere.
Oh yeah, but it's only 5 movements, so like
yeah, they don't go anywhere.
Yeah, so dodge and stunty is great. I mean, it's on the goblins too. But yeah, 5 movement means you're not going much with your dodge and stunty, and like
I hate them.
If you move away, anything can blitz them and just destroy their whole life. So
yeah, like so halflings are just they're SPP farms. If you have block, you kill a halfling every turn. Just guaranteed. Like it happens. You kill a halfling every turn. The only 3 positives on this team: the tree man, God bless his fucking soul. You get 2 of them, and then the second thing is that you can start your team with 3 rerolls, an APO, and 16 players.
Yep.
Including the 2 trees. So you can give some poor fucker out there 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30 SPP. By entering all those fucking 14 halflings.
Yeah. Josh, I'm doing something right now.
But no, and then the last thing is that they get halfling, which steals the enemy rerolls.
Yeah. It's useful. Yeah, you get half off on Halfling Master Chef, and you'd always be using them. And sometimes it can be devastating, but I feel like as a whole, it's only a 1 to 3 dice. I'm pretty sure it's not as devastating as you would hope it to be. To be honest, if you're a Halfling.
The Halfling Master Chef, it's very good.
Well, it's very good, but I mean, just how bad a Halfling team is, it's like.
Oh yeah, it's not worth it.
Is it like, man, a Halfling Master Chef, that makes up for my entire team dying?
You know what's funny about the halflings? The halflings are so dog shit, even in the lore, that the humans that lived right next door to them forgot they existed for like 60 years.
Yep.
Yep.
Well,
Shout out to the moot.
shout out to the moon. All right, next is next is the high elf team, which is probably where some of our opinions will disagree. But before that, I'll just describe the team a bit. Essentially, you have the high elves, which keep the same linemen as dark elves. They're exact same. There's not a single thing that is different with them. But what is different is the positionals. You get two throwers, which have the same stats as the linemen, and they have pass and safe throw. Safe throw is an interesting one where it's essentially it gives you bonus stats for your passes. So there you go. Your thrower also gets access to passing, so it's nice to have. Then is your catcher. It's the same catcher as the Elven Union catcher, but they do not have Nerves of Steel. But for that, you get a 10k cheaper. The catchers are very good and really round out the team well with throwers. And next is just blitzers, which are the same blitzers as Dark Elves, but you only get two of them. So, and in a nutshell, that's the team you're looking at. That's the High Elves. Very simple team, but man, they're good. They're a really good elf team, and I would probably say mid to higher tier of the elf teams. So personally, I'd put him right next. I'd put him around here. But I'm curious to hear what Sin has to say about the High Elves.
That is an exact correct placement.
Oh,
Right
it is?
wherever you're. Yeah, exactly correct.
All right.
This team is nuts. The blitzer is very good. You would think, right, that like the fact that the catcher and the blitzer are strictly worse than they are on the Elven Union would make Elven better. No. The Elven Union is a little bit too frail.
Yeah.
And the skill difference is there. So the skill difference being in the movement and the upgrade mats for stuff. Like, how do I phrase this? Being able to fuck me. Hold on, can you look to the limits?
All right. Anyway, I'll give you some gobbledygook.
Go ahead.
Give a interesting comparison to the Dark Elves. Essentially High Elves are Dark Elves, but they're better in almost every way. Because
They're less interesting.
They're less interesting than Dark Elves, but they're better in every way because not only do you have another interesting, not useless positional, which Dark Elves have two of that are just useless. You have Thrower, which pairs really well with an Elf team. It's gives you bonus on your passes, and that's not that big of a thing in Blood Bowl 2. But if High Elf, if they were in Blood Bowl 3, would be absolutely broken because of the separation of agility and passing accuracy. That was a decent nerf on the Elf pass game especially for Dark Elf. But High Elf, they kind of throw out the window. You still have the thrower, so you get a useful positional, and the catchers and blitzers, you get essentially the same positionals that Elven Union has, but they're a little sturdy. So I mean, and they don't have some of the skills, but that's it. I mean, they're just better. They're a good team.
There was a movement thing Oh, it was fucking safe throw. Okay, so safe throw just says fuck interceptions, so you can position your team a little bit better. So like, it's safer to position across the pitch because you can pass left to right a lot easier because you're not worried about interceptions. Sorry, that was the movement thing. I was trying to I was like, where the fuck is the movement? Safe throw is very good, and starting with it is just magnifique. This team is very, very, very good. The skills they can get, like having like AG in general on your blitzers, and like again AG in general on your catchers. Throwers having AG gen passing, which means you can just make your thrower your second thrower and like a third blitzer, basically.
Honestly, I think I'll put High Elves above Chaos Dwarves. I think they slightly
I
edge them
don't
out.
know if I disagree. I don't know if I agree with that, but like, it's fine. It's not gonna hurt.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like develop an aneurysm.
All right. Well, that was the end of part 2. Thank you for stopping by. There'll be part 3 out soon.
Yeah.
I was here with Sin, and I'll
Bye
see you
bye.
guys around next time.
Mixtape dropping real soon.